people like me. You need people like me so you can point your f***ing fingers and say, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy.
Welcome to the motherfucking relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. It was officially announced earlier today that unbeaten up-and-comer from the United Kingdom in the women's featherweight division, Artingstall, will be returning to action early next year on the undercard of Natasha Jonas versus Micaela Mayer, and she will be opposite the ring Brazil's own Lila de los Santos Furtado. You may be familiar with that name. That's the same Lila de los Santos that just dropped a lopsided decision, to Raven Chapman.
I fucking love Raven Chapman.
Raven, who is set to see action yet again this weekend opposite the ring, Lucy Sedlakova. We've talked about that fight already. I have Raven winning that fight. This fight between Artingstall and Lila de los Santos Furtado services as a who-did-it-better kind of deal, who-did-it-better kind of performance, where Raven Chapman gave Lila her first professional loss, dropped her, and dominated her. Karis will attempt to do one better, if not match
or surpass Raven's efforts, sporting a professional record of 5 wins with no losses, no draws, and only 1 recorded knockout. Don't let that fool you. Artingstall is a hard puncher, and her power is coming along.
Coming off of her first recorded knockout win over the seasoned Vanessa Bradford, a fighter who's been in there with a lot of good fighters, Alicia Baumgartner among them. But up until recently, she had never been stopped. Not up until she shared the ring with Artingstall. Karis, who's going to be fighting Lila Furtado, who sports a professional record of 9 wins with 1 loss, no draws, 1 knockout. Only 1 recorded knockout. I would give the edge in power to Karis. There are similarities between Artingstall and Raven Chapman, and there are also slight differences, nuances. I'd say that Raven Chapman's best punches are her bent arm punches mid-range to inside, her hooks, her body shots, and her uppercuts, whereas Karis's best punches, they seem to be her straight punches, her long-range punches from the outside coming in. In terms of single punching power, I think punch for punch, Karis is a slightly bigger puncher than Raven Chapman,
though not yet as fluid mid-range to inside in the phone booth. I think Raven puts her punches together a little faster than Artingstall does.
Artingstall, who I'm very high on, she didn't land on Lila Furtado by accident. This is no accident. It's deliberate. It's by design. What Karis wants to do is send the division a message. More specifically, send Raven a message by fighting the same girl that she fought.
To perhaps stop her. Karis debuted as a professional in June of last year, and she fought 2 times last year, 3 times this one. This upcoming fight with Lila, it will be her first fight of next year.
Box is doing a good job of keeping Artingstall busy. Her last fight only lasted 2 rounds. On that predication, because she didn't take much punishment and because it didn't last very long, they're getting her right back out there, and I like it. Karis is mean-spirited. She is a spiteful fighter. She has that in common with Raven Chapman, her temperament, her propensity to step into her punches and bring other punches over, to beat her opponent into submission.
She is just as long and limber and fundamentally sound as Skye Nicholson, with all the spite that Skye Nicholson doesn't have. That's what she has in common with Raven Chapman.
She wants to hurt you. She can. It's for that reason I think she's going to beat Lila Furtado, and I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Karis score another knockout, rack up another knockout victory. That's why I think she's fighting Lila specifically, to show that she can outdo Raven Chapman. This is a rivalry that is growing.
Raven, I love you.
But I think it's Karis's intention to set herself apart from all the other unbeaten up-and-comers at this weight. Raven Chapman, Skye Nicholson, Sophia Leash, Ebony Jones. Karis wants to be the standout, and that's why I think she's doing this.
We already know she's more mean-spirited and ballsy than Skye Nicholson. She fights that way, but now she wants to show us that she can outdo Raven.
And we'll talk more about the fight as the fight date approaches. Men's super lightweight news, Ryan Garcia says that he lost a step following his mental health break. Inactivity crippled me. I'm sorry to say that I'm suspicious of anyone who uses mental health
In the absence of a clinical diagnosis in a clinical setting, I mean, what are we talking about? Bipolar disorder?
My mental health break really caused me to stumble and made me take a lot of steps back, Garcia told BoxingScene.com in an interview. I got involved with things that take away from how you sharpen your boxing. When I tried to get back into it, I lost a step and never knew how to get it back. Life was moving so fast. I felt so much pressure to get back in the ring and make money. It never let me get my foot set and get back in the gym and learn and remember the things that I knew to do, what made me, me. It was a hard time figuring it out, but this loss to Davis helped it because now I'm awake and so focused. I feel the fire and focus now. It's going to be fun and magical. I can't wait for people to see it. I'm going to set a tone and example out of Duarte for everyone at 140 pounds.
A guy his age talking about he lost a step. Is he serious?
This is how I'm coming. Be prepared. I'm not letting my foot off the gas after this. I want to keep fighting and stay active, whether a big fight happens or not. I have to stay active because that's the one thing that's crippled me. When I'm active, I'm on fire. You've seen it before. When I fight continuously, I'm only going to be better. It's when I get thrown bullshit curveballs. I'm tired of getting done like that. Now, I'm going to stay focused and consistent.
This is going to be his first fight with Derek James in his corner. It feels like they've been together a lot longer than they actually have been. And Ryan has yet to perform under the hot lights, under Derek James's tutelage.
There's something to be said about a guy as young as Ryan claiming he's having mental health issues, claiming that he's lost a step, when these are intended to be the best years of his career, his physical prime, or approaching it.
Oftentimes, when you hear about a fighter losing a step, you're talking about an older fighter, a fighter that's perhaps over the hill and had too many wars. Not a young guy like Ryan.
Derek James and Ryan Garcia, the duo will make their debut together Saturday, and Garcia insists he's more dedicated than ever despite earning nearly $30 million against Gervonta Davis. I don't care about the money. Money doesn't define me. Money comes and goes. Money is nothing to me, said Garcia. Now it's about being a world champion. Money is great. I'm blessed. I'm thankful for it. But that's not going to define me. What's going to define me is how I come back from this loss to Gervonta Davis. What's worrying about Ryan Garcia is throughout the entire time he's been in the spotlight, there's been instability, issues with the promoter, psychological issues, discipline issues, and he's saying that he lost a step during the break, but he's in his mid-20s, this kid. You shouldn't be losing a step now.
As he lashes out at Golden Boy Promotions' Bernard Hopkins, why would you disrespect your only superstar fighter right now?
I'm sure that most of you are aware that Ryan's relationship with Golden Boy Promotions is on the rocks. I'm sure most of you are aware that he's not getting along with them, with Bernard Hopkins in particular. When he sat down with Brian Custer, Custer cited an interview with FightHype.com in which Hopkins seemed to cast doubt on Garcia's future when he said, "I will see how Ryan looks and then make my personal decision on whether he should fight again." That line set Garcia off. What does he mean? I'll make the decision, Garcia said. He ain't gonna make shit. He can't make shit about me. The crazy thing is, I'ma box my ass off for a team that doesn't even believe in me. But damn, they'll collect that money when I'm making them. They collect that $6 million though, but you know, but you don't know if I should box again? But you made that money off that Davis fight though. Yeah, shut up.
How do you imagine Bernard Hopkins, who isn't just some promoter, he isn't just some guy that never laced the gloves up, but he's in the business. He's been on both sides of the business. And how do you imagine he feels hearing a whippersnapper, a kid who's wet behind the ears like Ryan, telling him that he should shut up?
Watch when I win. I'm gonna look at them. Bro, don't even mess with me. Don't even mess with me. I'm so sharp right now. I have no worries that I'm going to look great. Amazing. They'll be like a salty ex. Like, fuck! I wish I stayed with him. I wish I was nice to him? Why didn't I speak better to him? Please, I'm sorry. Come back, baby. Come back. Shut up.
Oh my god, this kid's so fucking weird.
Not treating him like a champion, stuff like that.
Not treating him like a champion. Is he a champion? He got a world belt?
But he even went as far to say...
Listen, we're not in the business. And Oscar will repeat in his own style, in his own way. We're not in business kissing fighters' ass to tell them there's something that they're not. Now, I will promote a fight, but I would not promote a lie.
Things are bad between them, between Ryan and Bernard, and they're not getting better. It's comments like that that have Ryan saying, I'm just tired. Like, how does your own team talk shit about you? Think about that. Think about it. Why would your own team talk shit about you? That makes no sense. Why would you do that? I'm their only fighter. What other fighter is going to make them money? None. So why would you disrespect your only superstar fighter right now?
Because there's more where that came from? Because you're not God's gift to boxing?
Things are bad between Ryan and Golden Boy, between Ryan and Bernard, and they are not getting better. They're getting worse.
And I put 28 years in this business of boxing, in the ring. 28 years in the ring. I believe I got some credibility. But one thing about boxing, and I close with this, it will call your bluff.
Ryan Garcia. Ryan.
Man, a couple things that I want to touch. One thing that's been on my heart is the statements that Bernard made, where he'll decide if I'm going to finish or if I should continue boxing after this fight. He don't decide that. My coach does. My team does. Everybody that grinds with me day in and day out. That's who decides, and ultimately God decides, not him. Nobody was telling him when to stop boxing. He stopped boxing at 45, so kudos to him. But he don't determine that. And another thing I want to touch on is, Oscar saying that, we misinterpret, what they say. It's plain English. I didn't hear anybody speaking any language I don't know. So, it's very clear to me that, they're backing this guy to beat me just like they thought Duno was going to beat me. He was the next Filipino star. They saying he's the next Mexican star. And, he also said that, he calls out on the bullshit, the lies. Man, last time I checked, he said he never lose to a white boy, and then Joe Smith Jr. knocked him out of the ring. Last time I checked, Joe Smith Jr. was white. So, they be lying. So at the end of the day, I'll come to show what I bring, and I'm laser focused, and that's where this confidence comes from. Thank God for everything, and all praise to the Most High, Jesus Christ. Thank you.
In my opinion, I don't think so, but I don't know what Ryan's been going through. I seen him lasered in the whole time sitting there. Looks like he had to get something off his chest. There has to be some level of relief that he did say.
Yeah, I can tell you one thing, though. Look at the way Ryan is looking at Duarte now.
Ryan's bent out of shape over what Bernard said. And what Bernard said was he's going to see how Ryan does and decide if he should continue. What I think is the misinterpretation is that Bernard has agonical control over Ryan to decide whether or not he should continue. And what I really think Bernard meant was in his own opinion, what his opinion is on the rest of Ryan's career. That he's going to wait and see how he does with Oscar Duarte, and based on that, he will decide if he thinks Ryan should continue. That's what I think Ryan is misinterpreting. He's choosing to be emotional. He's choosing to be petulant. And that wouldn't be the first time we've seen him do that.
Seems like a part of making it in this sport is believing you're the best before you prove it. I mean, I've never seen anyone do anything that was difficult, anything that was hard, by telling themselves that they can't do it. So to some degree, to make it as a boxer at the highest levels of boxing, you have to believe in yourself when nobody else does. Borders on delusion.
Borders on being delusional, but along with those necessary delusions come unnecessary delusions of grandeur. And that's what I think we're seeing from Ryan Garcia, who fancies himself a very big name and a very big star, but I can tell you now, he's nowhere near the star in the sport that Oscar De La Hoya was.
Oscar was something else entirely in his prime. At the same age that Ryan is now, Oscar was a fucking rock star. The level of celebrity that he had as a boxer.
We're on the outside looking in, so we can't see all ends of this, but it feels like Ryan doesn't want to listen to those who know, those who have been there and back. He doesn't want to listen to Oscar, he doesn't want to listen to Bernard, and he'd be lucky to be half as successful as Bernard Hopkins or Oscar De La Hoya. He'd be very lucky.
Lupe Valencia is rocking the boat. Lupe Valencia, Ryan Garcia's legal counsel, his manager.
There are rumors that Lupe Valencia is in cahoots with Al Heyman to try to get Ryan Garcia to cross over from Golden Boy Promotions over to the PBC, but he is still legally bound, contractually bound to Golden Boy Promotions for the time being, though given how things are going, it looks like he'll jump ship as soon as he can. He himself feels that Bernard and Oscar, they want to set him up.
Set him up to fail. You heard what he said. They tried to set him up with Romero Duno, and now they're trying to set him up with Oscar Duarte.
That is Ryan's account of events. That is at least how he feels. That may not be necessarily what's going on, but that's his perspective. And given that they're having a rocky relationship, that things aren't good between them, perhaps it would be better for Golden Boy Promotions if Oscar Duarte wins this Saturday instead of Ryan. Because Ryan, by all accounts,
he's not going to stay there. As soon as he has the opportunity to jump ship, he's going to. Maybe he goes to Matchroom just to stick it to Oscar De La Hoya. Or maybe he goes to the PBC. That's where he seems he wants to be.
Ryan is too problematic to be the flag bearer for Golden Boy Promotions. And this is not new news or a new occurrence. It's been this way for years. So the most that he can be to Golden Boy Promotions here today is a stepping stone for another one of their fighters to catapult their career. That the most use they have for Ryan,
the most they can use him for is as a launch pad to launch somebody else's career, launch Oscar's career, if he wins.
Now, I don't know specifically. I don't know what specific amount of time or what specific amount of fights are left in Ryan Garcia's existing Golden Boy Promotions deal, though I'd guess that if he could get out of it here and now, he would get out of it here and now. As many of the fighters that he wants to fight, like Rolly Romero and perhaps a rematch with Gervonta Davis, all of that is over there on the PBC side of things.
This fight is supposed to be for a lesser version of a WBA title, WBA gold title, that might line Ryan up, if he wins, for the winner of O'Hara Davies versus Ishmael Barroso, whenever that gets rescheduled.
Though scheduling fights for Ryan and working with him seems to be becoming a bigger and bigger and bigger headache for both Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins, who, you know what? Maybe they would like to see Oscar Duarte win instead of Ryan.
Perhaps getting the wind knocked out of him by Gervonta Davis didn't humble him enough. Maybe he needs to be humbled some more.
And on that premise, maybe they are rooting for Oscar Duarte to upset the apple cart for Ryan.